Raider Nation, what's going on? Watching the Raiders report here. We got some breaking news. It is now officially official. The Las Vegas Raiders have gone out and they have signed wide receiver DeAndre Carter. The deal is coming in at 1 year, $2.3 million. And realistically, this is a move that we talked about last week because he was supposed to have his visit on Friday. The visit ended up coming through on Monday. And now it looks like that the Raiders have added yet again another wide receiver. So coming up here on today's show, I'll break down some of his numbers, how I think he's going to end up fitting with this wide receiver room, and then ultimately why the silver and black decided to make this move. I'll be honest, I'm at home right now making this vid, and I was literally laying in bed. Everyone at the Chat Sports Studios, at least Chugs, he's sleeping, so I wanted to get you guys at least an at-home vid. So hopefully that's all good with you. So DeAndre Carter ends up getting the deal done. What I want to know right now down in the comments section is, what's your one-word reaction to this move by the Silver and Black? We have seen time and time again that Josh McDaniels continues to try to add to this offense, and they're trying to add very versatile players, which that's going to be my one-word reaction. Versatile. He's a good slot receiver coming off the best season that he's ever had. 46 catches, 538 yards, 3 touchdowns. But if you were to hop back into a time machine, I know, I ask you guys to do that a lot, and you go back and you look 2 months ago, I actually did a video about free agents that I would love for the Raiders to be able to target, and then I looked at special teams players in that video, and in that video, I brought up DeAndre Carter for the simple fact of his special teams ability. If you're going to bring in the Patriot regime, which that's what this is at this current moment, whether you like that or not, the Raiders really, really value special teams players. So the fact that Carter can not only help you out in the punt return game, he can also help you out in the kick return game. That's going to set him apart from everybody else. And that was one of the reasons why I brought up DeAndre Carter 2, maybe even 3 months ago at this point. If you guys haven't already, please take a second, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you got your notifications turned on. That way when breaking news ends up going down, you're covered. I got a big commitment to this channel here. I'm not feeling 100% great. I actually just took a whole bunch of NyQuil. I got Vicks all over my chest, so if I sound a little bit funky, hopefully that's okay. But what do I tell you? When big time news happens, I will break it down for y'all and give you the content that I think every single person hits that subscribe button for. So now let's talk about DeAndre Carter and why I essentially wanted the Raiders to go out and get him in the first place. The biggest reason why I wanted to go out and get him in the first place is because of Hunter Renfrow. Not because I want the Raiders to trade away Renfrow, and I don't really necessarily know if this move means that, okay, he's gone, Renfrow's gone. I mean, the way that Renfrow's contract is structured, the Raiders, to me, moving on from him now doesn't make a lot of sense. If they wanted to move on from Renfrow after June 1st, then, that's a little bit of a different conversation. But the reason why I wanted Carter is because, and I don't know if I speak on behalf of all Raider fans, but I don't want Renfrow back there receiving punts. I don't. He's had too many injuries. I think when he's fully healthy on the offensive side of the football, he's just way too critical to this offense in terms of being able to reach its peak. So now you get a guy like Carter who can help you out in the punt return game throughout his career, which, you go look at 2018, 26 for 249 and averaging 9.6. But the years that I'm going to look at is last year because it's the most relevant year. Last season for punt returns, Carter, 29 returns, 339 yards, 11.7 average. If you're wondering, well, where exactly does that compare for the Raiders last season? Renfrow and Keelan Cole were both under 7 yards per return. The Raiders were one of the worst return teams, and one of the things that I warned Raider fans about was when you hired Tom McMahon is his special teams in Denver was not very good. So the fact that you have DeAndre Carter, who played in the AFC West last season with the Los Angeles Chargers, not only is he this really, honestly, versatile player on the offensive side of the football that you're going to be able to hand the ball to, that he's going to be able to catch the ball out of slot. He's got some good speed, legit acceleration. He's going to help you in the special teams game. So I would say right now the Raiders have built themselves a pretty impressive wide receiver room, if I do say so myself. I'm curious where exactly he's going to fall in line, but his special teams ability, he's going to make that 53-man roster. I can guarantee it. I also understand that the Raiders, they brought back Amir Abdullah, and last season he was the primary kick return guy. But Carter can also do that. Last season, Carter, 26 returns, 497 yards. That's 19.1 average, which is actually his career worst year. However, though, the year before that, 36 returns, 904 yards, 25.1. That was one of the best marks in the National Football League. So I know with Carter, he's going to be a good player in special teams, punt returns, kick returns, but he's also going to be somebody that you're hoping can chip in for 30, 33 grabs, picks up a few clutch first downs, but when he's on the field, he's a gadget guy. And when you get a gadget guy, it just makes it a lot more difficult for the defensive coordinator because you're like, all right, Carter's the guy I'm not going to worry about. And Carter has this speed and acceleration where he can beat you, right? Because think about it. You're a defensive coordinator. You're like, all right, we got Devontae Adams. I got to worry about him. All right, you got Jacoby Myers. I got to worry about him. Hunter Renfrow. Shit, yeah, I probably got to worry about that guy too. You can say what you want about Austin Hooper. He's a pretty damn good tight end. You got to worry about him. Oh, yeah, there's this guy named Josh Jacobs that led the NFL last season in rushing yards. So, to me, this is a move that's going to take basically all the pressure off of Carter. And if he's got you one-on-one, you're going to line up one-on-one with him, short, intermediate routes, I'm going to take my chances with him being able to win those. Now, every time that there's a signing, that always means that, unfortunately, there's always a winner and then there's a loser. I do think the biggest loser here for the Raiders is DJ Turner. DJ Turner was a good UDFA, small school kid, has battled on this roster and has been able to find his way. To me, though, Carter's that replacement. Carter is a better version of DJ Turner. And I say that only based off of what I saw last year. If Turner's put in more work and he's able to beat out DeAndre Carter, salute to him. That just makes our offense even a little bit more dynamic. So the news that we're breaking down for all y'all today is DeAndre Carter has signed a 1-year deal with the Las Vegas Raiders. He's played with the Chargers last season. He's bounced around with a few different NFL teams, but the thing that you always got to go back when you talk about the Raiders is, all right, well, where was the connection with Ziegler? Where was the connection with Josh McDaniels? The connection is this. He was with the Houston Texans. When he was there with Houston, Nick Caserio was there. Nick Caserio and Dave Ziegler, those guys are really good friends from their days back in New England. So you had the connection. You got the versatility. You got somebody on special teams. For the value that the Raiders ended up getting him at, I do think this is going to be a move that a lot of Raider fans want. And it just continues to show me over and over and over again that the Raiders are going to address their offense and free agency, and then they're really going to try to build that defense in the 2023 NFL Draft. Hopefully y'all made it this far in the video. I appreciate the heck out of all y'all. Remember to give me a follow on Twitter, Instagram, Mitchell Renz 365, and I did just launch the Cameo. I would have loved to have been able to do this live show if it would have been a little bit earlier in the day, but my team, unfortunately, it sounds like everyone's sleeping, and I was the only one still awake. So cheers to all y'all. Have a good night. DeAndre Carter signed to the Raiders, 1 year, $2.3 million deal.